James Gunn's DCU Batman can't just be another version of the Dark Knight. He has to be the most powerful Batman we have ever seen in live action. So powerful that he makes the DCU's Batman look like child's play. And that's saying something, because whether you loved or hated the DCEU, you can't deny one thing. It still gave us one of the most brutal, most physically intimidating version of Batman to ever hit the big screen. That warehouse fight scene alone really cemented Ben Affleck's Batman as an absolute tank, a unit, a juggernaut, a Batman that literally leveled an entire room of goons without breaking a sweat. But as much as we celebrated that action scene and loved it for what it was, there was always a strange nagging problem. Because anyone who knows Batman, even casually, knows there's one rule that defines him. Batman does not kill. He can snap a wrist, shatter a rib, he can even break your jawline and still ask you to explain your entire boss's plan from start to finish. But he won't take a life. That's the line he doesn't cross. And yet, the DCU's Batman didn't just cross it, he literally sprinted over it. Explosions, gunfire, impalement, bodies were dropping left to right, all in the name of collateral damage. That choice alone sparked controversy, because when you give us a Batman that's brutal, skilled and unstoppable, but then strip away the one code that defines him, of course fans are going to be divided. And that's where the opportunity lies for James Gunn's DCU. If the Snyderverse and the DCEU's Batman was the most brutal but compromised version of the character, then Gunn's Batman needs to be brutal and pure. Powerful yet principled. A Batman who's not just strong in combat but strong in conviction. A Batman who feels like he literally leaped straight off the comic book page into a cinematic universe that actually embraces his full potential. Let's talk about why Ben Affleck's Batman, despite his flaws, still set the bar so high for every Batman movie. For one, he was the only Batman in live action to directly interact with Superman. And even more shocking, to fight Superman. That instantly put him in a different league. This wasn't the grounded mob boss fighting Batman of Nolan's trilogy. This was a Batman operating in a world of gods, aliens and metahumans. A Batman who was written to be someone capable of standing in the same arena even if he was just a man. And that's why his combat style was so important. The warehouse fight showcased a Batman who wasn't just brawling, he was a tactician, a martial artist, a predator. He used gadgets, the environment, his raw strength in a way that no other live-action Batman had before. Suddenly, this wasn't just a detective in a suit. This was a soldier trained by monks, assassins and mercenaries, moving like a man who understood 10 different martial arts, someone who could go toe-to-toe with metahumans and possibly still come out on top. But again, the killing tarnished the picture. Because if you remove the moral code, then what separates Batman from the Punisher? If he's just a brutal killer in a cape, he loses that nuance. He loses the balance between light and darkness that makes him fascinating. Now here's the bigger issue. Every live-action Batman so far has been shackled by one creative choice: grounding him, making him realistic. Filmmakers seem terrified of embracing the comic book side of Batman. Instead of showing him as the larger-than-life force he is in animation or in comics, they trim him down to something that feels practical, safe and believable. But Batman in the comics, he's close to superhuman. He trains his body and mind to such extremes that he can do things no normal man should be capable of. He's fought alongside gods, he's faced enemies who can level cities, he's outsmarted beings that bend reality. This is the same Batman who, in animation, can dismantle an entire squad of enemies, pilot insane vehicles, and duel assassins with extreme martial arts skills. And it works because animation isn't limited. In animation, nothing looks too goofy. His gadgets, his Bat family, his combat prowess, they are free to be as big as the story needs them to be. Live action has barely embraced that. Nolan's Batman was grounded in gritty realism. Pattinson's Batman is grounded in this detective tone, but both are fantastic in their own right, but they are still limited. They don't capture the full scope of what Batman is capable of. And this is why James Gunn's DCU needs to break that mold. It needs to be different. Because Gunn's vision for the DCU isn't about grounding. It's about embracing the comic book weirdness, the fantasy, the color, the lore. His Superman alone already cemented that this world is a world where superheroes exist naturally, where we don't need endless origin stories to justify them. Creature Commanders also shows that monsters, magic and bizarre concepts are just part of the fabric of this universe. And it's good like that, because this means that Batman can't just be the gritty guy in the shadows. He has to stand shoulder to shoulder with characters who wield godlike powers, who can fly, shapeshift and obliterate planets. And in that kind of world, a weak Batman doesn't just look boring, he looks out of place. If Gunn's Batman is at the same combat level as, say, Christian Bale's, then he will likely be getting his ass beat a lot. In fact, it just wouldn't make sense. He'll feel like this odd man out in a universe that demands bigger, bolder versions of its icons. The truth of the matter is that Batman isn't just another DC character. He is the cornerstone of DC itself. And if Gunn wants his DC universe to strive and wants to actually move into something like the Justice League, Batman has to be more than the strategist. He has to pull his weight in every fight. He has to be respected by gods and monsters alike, not pitied as this powerful human tagging along. Imagine a Justice League where Wonder Woman and Superman are all doing their thing and then there's just Batman being sidelined. It just wouldn't make sense. He needs to be in the thick of it, outsmarting enemies, disarming threats, disabling tech, holding his own against impossible odds. That's the Batman fans deserve. That's the Batman who feels essential. Because for decades, we have had grounded Batman stories, and they worked because those films weren't set in the larger universes. But now the DCU, grounded won't cut it. It would be lazy, even disrespectful, to give us another Batman who only fights mobsters in alleys, while his teammates battle gods. Gunn's Batman has to embrace the fantastical. Even if it looks goofy to some, that's the point. The DCU is about embracing the comics fully, not watering them down. And to me, that's the only way Batman can work. So, the truth of it all is James Gunn's Batman needs to be the most powerful Batman we have ever seen in live action. Stronger than Affleck, more skilled than Bell's, more complete than Patterson's, a Batman who was brutal yet principled, grounded yet fantastical, human yet mythic. Because in this new DCU, Batman isn't just another hero. He is supposed to also represent a cornerstone as he is in the comics. And if Gunn's new DCU gets it right, he won't just redefine Batman for a new generation. He'll finally give us the Batman we have been waiting for a long time. So what do you think? Should Batman in the DCU embrace his comic book roots fully, or should he stay grounded like we have seen before? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you stuck around to the end, thanks for your attention. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Until then, I'm out.